All right, everyone, we are live again. Welcome to another edition of the Unpredictable Pipeline. In this series, we are talking to chief marketing officers about how they have managed their teams, their companies, their industries through 2020, which has been anything but a predictable year. Very excited to have in this session Mary Beth Hamilton. She's the VP of Global Marketing for Eze Castle Castle Integration. Mary Beth, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. And it is a tongue twister for everyone.
I got it right, though. I'm going to continue to try. We're going to make it work. Well, thanks for joining. Want to talk a little bit about sort of thought leadership, demand gen, sort of pivots and balancings between the two through the year. But maybe just start with let everyone know a little more about the company and your role and what your team looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eze Castle Integration, we are a technology service provider focused on the financial vertical. So we're very specific with the audience that we are targeting, going after. We are a global organization. We have about 800 clients across the globe and providing them cloud, cybersecurity, and digital transformation services. It's been an interesting year in that we just completed our first 2 acquisitions beyond everything that's going on with COVID and all that other good stuff and pivoting. It's been a year of growth for us. My team, we're a relatively small team. There are 5 individuals on that team and spread out across our UK office and then our Boston headquarters.
Awesome. So best laid plans, beginning of the year, 2020 is going to be awesome. I remember reading things like, like Cinco de Mayo's on a Friday, Halloween's on a Saturday, everything's lining up. And then March happened. And so talk a little bit about what that was like for you as you sort of looked at, okay, things are changing quickly and you're looking at sort of plans that you have for Q2 and beyond. What were some of those immediate pivots that you had to make just in that moment?
So one of the first ones was obviously taking a look at the content, the information that we were putting out to clients and prospects, sort of flipping the switch so that we can provide immediate, actionable guidance, information that they could use. Because while we were putting the information out, our clients were struggling with their own transformations of moving their entire workforce remote and relying on our organization. So it was probably about, I would say, a good 6-week period where we have always been very content focused, thought leadership focused, but we turned it up a notch to really be able to provide, and I think, we saw that across the board, information that could help someone today, the minute they saw it. And there was really probably a 6-week period where everything we were producing and putting out was, how can we help you right now? How can we, obviously we were gaining goodwill, but we really wanted to, make their environments more effective that they were operating in. And then there came that time that, okay, everyone has now started to adapt to this more remote world. And how do we start transitioning that conversation back to being more forward thinking, supporting our sales organization and how they engage with clients and prospects as a whole? And so that's sort of where we had this great plan that we started the year. We had to put it on hold. We were very reactive for probably, a 6-week time period. And then there's only so long you can sustain that before you need to get back to being more forward thinking. And so that's where we, pulled in the reins. We continued producing what we had, but we had to think forward.
So I appreciate that. And I want to talk a little bit about how you knew when it was, it was time to sort of rebalance that, right? I mean, because I feel like, mid-March, we were sort of in this day-to-day sort of pivot. And then we kind of were sort of thinking week to week. And then you get past Q2 and you're like, okay, well, we're going to be in this for a while. We still got to run and grow a business. So we need to continue to be sensitive to the moment and the situation we're all in, but also sort of be strategic and proactive at what the plan is moving forward. What were some of the things you looked for in the market with your team, with your sales team, to know when to start to rebalance between doing more thought leadership to starting driving demand and being more proactive on the pipeline development front?
So I would say, throughout the entire process, it also got us even tighter aligned with our sales organization, because we needed to understand what they needed, what they were hearing in the market, and also arm them with ways that they could engage with prospects that was very compassionate and not overly salesy. And then we did the exact same thing on our client service team to understand what were we hearing direct from our clients, how now that they had transitioned, what were they thinking about, what were their priorities? And then we put together a plan for, okay, so this is what they're going to be dealing with for the next 6 months, and how can we support them in that regard? And then, what does that 12-month conversation look like? So it was really, obviously staying in touch with those that are talking to our clients and prospects, and seeing as a whole, everyone just became more used to what was going on and felt comfortable that we were going to persevere.
Yep. And I feel like there's a lot of pivots people have made, this year, and some pivots that were made quite suddenly that weren't really new. They were trends that had been happening that really most of the time we make exponential changes. It often is sort of like, slowly and then suddenly. Are there things that you made pivots to this year that in hindsight, you kind of see coming that you think will be part of your 2021 and post-pandemic playbook as well?
So I guess for us, obviously, we had already been doing virtual events. We were doing webinars, right? Like it's continued to be over this last, 6-month period of understanding what is the right cadence, right? And the frequency. I think we all are now adapting to just like so much virtual noise, digital noise. How do we surround? We've always been trying to surround the prospects. Our hands got tied in how we can do that. Yeah. But, looking ahead, it definitely sped up us taking a look at how we can automate processes. What type of tools do we need to have in our MarTech stack to be more effective? So there are things that may have been more end of the year types of plans that we reprioritized, recognizing that we need to better understand, which prospects want to be communicated, with webinars, who wants content, who only wants to see it on LinkedIn, and beyond personalizing how they receive it, how do we personalize the message? So, more effectively looking at how technology can help us with that.
Love it. How has this year changed the working relationship you have with the sales organization? Has it changed? Has it pivoted? Has any sort of slowly then suddenly anything sort of accelerated this year?
I would say we've gotten in closer, which has been positive. We've made more momentum in getting them to be aligned with us on account-based marketing and those types of items. And one thing that I really focused on early in the process was with us all being remote, I aligned a marketing person with each sales rep so that they were having weekly conversations, if not more frequently, so they felt supported. We were getting immediate information, and building those relationships more tightly has served us well throughout this process.
Yeah, love it. Last question for you, and then we'll let you go. It looks like we might be hunkered down for a little bit longer. It'll be interesting to see what next year brings. I think we did a survey recently around sort of like in-person events, and the majority of people are thinking second half of next year, maybe 2022. So we maybe have a little ways to go, but there's a lot at the end of the tunnel. We'll get through this. And I'm just curious, is there something that you miss from the old world, miss from January and before, that you're looking forward to getting back to? And is there something maybe at this point now that you don't miss, that now that it's not part of your life or part of your business or job, that you're not looking forward to going back to?
So one thing for our organization that I think it's a blessing and a curse, we were all anxious to get back into the office, and then everyone really enjoyed being remote. And now I think it's a balance. Yeah. So, from a marketing perspective, I look forward to us being able to send direct mail packages to like people's homes. Like, whoever thought I would say that, but I want to give like real gifts to people, not like virtual. And then beyond that, just being able to, get the teams back in the office and collaborate, maybe not in the office every day, but just with a little bit more frequency.
Oh, yeah. No, it'll be an interesting balance for sure. I think when I ask that question, like 95% plus the time, the answer comes back with some version of, I miss people. It's fun to be able to see people through video. And I think video selling is going to become far more prominent moving forward. But we've been using Zoom for like 5 or 6 years. We've been doing face-to-face communication for at least tens of thousands, so I think that is what we are predisposed to want. Well, Mary Beth Hamilton, Vice President of Global Marketing for Eze Castle Integration. Thank you for joining us and sharing a little bit about what this year's unpredictable pipeline has looked like for you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Matt.
Take care. Thanks, everybody.